Welcome back to part 2 of my Mother's Day card. So, what I have here now to do my actual painting for my card is just some Canson 140-pound watercolor paper. So I'm going to set this here, and I have my blue painter's tape. You can also use washi tape. And what I do to keep it from sticking too much is I place it on my leg, on my pants, and I just pull it back up so it has a little bit less stick. That is a trick my mom taught me. And I'm going to tape this down, and you can see I kind of came in a little bit, and I'm fine with that. And the reason is because while this is 5x4, which is great for a small note card, which are usually 5.5 by 4.25, sometimes I want to trim them down a little bit more, and I don't want to cut into my painting. So sometimes I just put a little bit more white, or a little bit more paint, and then we're going to go. So we are going to do the background. Now you don't have to do this, and I did put my picture away so that I'm kind of forced to go by my sketch, and that way I'm having to use some imagination. I have the worst imagination, and people will disagree with me. Everybody thinks that what you do is amazing or awesome, and that you just have this brilliant way about doing it. You know, I don't. I need inspiration. So to get me started, then I can go from there. But if you're like, here's a blank piece of paper, paint, I'd be like, I don't know, probably paint the same thing every single time because I can't think of anything. All right, so there we have that. Okay. So this is my paint palette, if you're ever wondering. It's a disaster, and I love it. You can see the different types of paints. These are actually liquid watercolor that I put in there, dandelion paints. I let them dry, and now they're just super concentrated. That way they won't spill, and I don't have to take the whole bottle everywhere. Some of these are Daniel Smith. You can see they're very wet, more wet, less cracking. These are Arteza. This Payne's Gray is Core. They're all a little bit different. They're fine. Well, they'll just reactivate. They have different pigment intensities. I definitely really enjoy the Daniel Smith, and I'm excited on my vacation to get some other paints and try those. And as for my palette dirt, oh, I don't know if you can see all this. Hang on. Oh, you can. Okay, good. This is called palette dirt. I love palette dirt. Yes, you can wipe it all off, and I do, and I probably will wipe off one little section here, but I reuse it and reuse it and reuse it. Oops, kind of loud there. So I'm just going to take this part off, so I have one clean area, but I do a lot of florals. So I've got all these different greens. I've got some pink. I'll just wipe this section off, but I like the pinks and the greens in there, and the brown. This is all from, I just keep clean a little section and go again. So several different paintings, but this was from the tree branch that I just did on the last painting that I posted, the little blue, spring blue tit, I think is what it was called on Pixabay. It was just, oh, he was so cute. I wasn't thrilled with how it turned out, but he was cute. All right, so then, here we go. I keep these atomizers. You can get them at, Equates, this Walmart brand, and then just mist up things. And you'll have to remist if you need to, but I mist everything. So for the background right now, I'm going to spritz this with some water. I'm going to take, pause, hold please. Just so you know, in the last video I forgot to say I use this Blick Studio B pen. It comes, you can get HB, you can get, other, it has to do with the graphite. I like these. You can certainly use a mechanical pencil, but mechanical pencils are really sharp tipped. So a standard pencil, a number 2 pencil, or one of these, I just like them a little bit better for sketching. And for the painting, I just grabbed a bunch of different rounds. I think I've got a 2, a 4, a 5, and a 7. These are very cheap, inexpensive watercolor brushes until I kind of knew what I wanted. I'm hoping to get some now that I've had more practice, but very, like, you know, a pack for $3 and it had 12 different ones. So we're not using anything fancy today for I don't use anything fancy at all, actually. So, and then we're going to use, where did it go? Okay. This is a 3/4 flat. So we sprayed the water on there, put a little mopping on there, that's fine. You can see this is not the best brush either because the bristles come out. But I'm going to put just a little bit of the green from my palette dirt. I just love the word that they call it, palette dirt. And then this teal mix, that's basically, it's a cerulean blue, which is my very favorite blue. I'm so addicted to it, it's terrible. With a little bit of yellow to it. You'll find that I don't mention a lot of colors, and because I'm still learning. Also, everybody has different stuff, and I just don't think you should have to run out to the store getting a little bit more teal and to paint. I just don't think you should have to. So now you can see that that's got a nice two-tone color. I don't think it's quite dark enough. The one thing about palette dirt is usually it's not very dark. So it's an easier way. So I'm putting yellow on the sides, and then I'm going to put, it's an easier way to add color without it getting too dark too fast. And I'm leaving kind of this middle part kind of white, almost like a sun coming through. All right, and I just made that up. I have no reason why I'm doing it. I don't know. This seems like it would be fun. And I like how this up here, let's get a little bit more, is a little bit more blue, and this is a little bit more green. So now we're going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and start the next part. Okay, now it's time to get to the actual painting. I will admit that I used my old blow dryer that I never use anymore. It became part of my painting table, and dried that up. It's a little damp, but it should be fine. So I'm going to come back to my pencil, and I'm going to very, very lightly. Now you can also use a watercolor pencil. So if you have a watercolor pencil, like this is a brown, you can certainly do that as well, and then it will blend in with the painting. I'm only putting the branch in. That's it. So I'm not needing a watercolor pencil because I can paint over it. So we're going to come and go like that. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like a branch because it's a straight line. But then I'm going to come back and do this. Take that out. And now I'm going to start putting in some flowers. So this is going to be, let's see how we do these flowers. I want them to be pink instead of white. So I'm going to get some paint going on my palette, add some water. The reason why I don't usually tell people a lot what brush to use is because I like smaller brushes, and every tutorial I watch, they say, okay, this is a number 6, this is a number 2, this is a number 4, and invariably I end up switching to a smaller brush just because of my dot art. It's what I can control better. So we're going to get a little paint. I'm going to start right kind of in the middle, and now let's see, triangle, 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 triangle. Now I'll push some of that back. That's actually probably a little bit dark, and then I'm just gonna put some color in the middle. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna go a little lighter, I think. We're gonna go triangle, triangle-y thing, triangle, triangle. And grab little darker. Pop it in there. Ooh, look at that go. I think I'll push some of that. Ooh, my brush needs to be a little more thirsty. All right. Now, I'll do it again. I'm going to take a little bit of orange, just a very tiny amount, and add it in with my pink so I get a little bit different color pink. I don't want it to be like, why is there this orange flower in there all of a sudden? But just a little bit different. So here we go. One here. This is more of a petal shape. These, if you've seen any of my other stuff, which I think some of you have, pop her in there. I do these 4 petal flowers. I love them. I think they're quaint. So the reason why I'm not doing anything behind it right now is because it'll bleed. So let's, a little bit of a little diamond there, a little triangle there. Let's make this, let's make it 3 petals. Pop. Like that. This one's decided it wants to go all over. So we can let those dry a little bit and then we'll come back in later. Alright. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to come, I want the leaves to be down here. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to grab some of my, it's like a yellow-green. I really like it. It's predominantly yellow-green. I think it's called leaf green. It's a dandelion paint. And then I add a little bit of the emerald to it. Just calm down the very strong yellow of it. And I'm going to, let's see, well, just if you want to know, I'm using a 5 for this. Let's see. And we're just, obviously people use bigger brushes and they can do it in 1 stroke. I don't enjoy that. It's definitely something you could do and you can practice the brush stroke. I just simply, I like playing with small brushes. It brings me the most joy. So I'm going to just put those 3 there so I know where it's stopping. And I like that. I like those. Those are pretty. Those are cute. Hello. Hello, little leaf. All right. Then we'll come back to, I need a few more of these bigger ones. Let's get some more water on the brush. And then we will, 1, 2, this one's kind of coming in behind, 3, 4, and see, they're starting to, they blend in. So I just keep going over them. I kind of like that layering. You can certainly wait till it dries more. It's up to you. I really like blooming, so it's blooming. So then I'm going to stop and let this dry, and I'm going to go into the branch. And so that is just a brown with some Payne's Gray. I think it's honey brown, I believe, from Dandelion Paints. And then I add some dark Payne's Gray. And let's see, hopefully. So I am doing this. See, I just take the tip of the brush and I just kind of do this wiggly thing like that. And then I just pinch it in. You can get a little bit of water to help it move. I like this color because it's such a nice contrast to to the pink. So we'll see what else we need to do to change that if needed. I'm actually going to put a little bit right in there. Really, this needs to be kind of a cluster of flowers. So I don't know how much I want to see the branch, but a little hint is always kind of neat, isn't it? Oh, we just got a blop, which I should know better. You have to make sure there's no water on your ferrule, or it comes down, and I'm sure if you've done any kind of watercolor, it's happened to you at least once, and you're just like, no! So now it's starting to bleed into the petal, so what we're going to do is we're going to just let it wait. We're going to let it dry, and then we'll touch that up. Take care of the details later. Okay, so there's that, and now I'm going to go back to my green. And I'm going to come out right here, and here, and here, and here, and one down here, and maybe one across there. There. So if you'll see, I'm doing these little branches here that they're going to come out of. They're little stems, I guess they are. So now I'm going to go back to my pink, and I'm going to start doing pale, very watery, very pale. Let's see, let's get it pretty pale back, because they're in the back, and I probably could have done these first. You can do them either way. I see people do the background first and then the front later, and vice versa. I'm sure in some it matters. But I'm just kind of giving these little shadows in here. Just kind of leave little spaces, little shadows, just a hint. So this one, we're going to do those three. They're sideways. That's pretty dark, but I kind of like it. Everybody's a little different, aren't they? Alright, and then this one is going to be 2. Oh my gosh, it's a heart. Oh, that's so precious. Oh, Lordy. Okay. I gotta get a little bit more orange in this pink. Maybe a little bit more corally color. And whoop, I can see where. Just real quick, I don't use paper towel. I use these because I can wash them and reuse them. It's basically an old flannel sheet, and I serged the edges. I made a bunch of them so that we can use them as paper towel around the house. We absolutely love them. They're easy to wash in with your laundry because, like with towels and such, because they're small and they take up no room. So just an idea, highly recommend. This one I'm going to do a full flower. It's going to be just kind of a funky little rogue guy who's coming off. Whoop. Back. Da, 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 da. Now see, you can see that it's not really looking anything like the picture, which is great because it's becoming my painting, and that's what I want. I want it to be my painting. I want it to be a representation of my thoughts, and I think I'm going to go one more. I really want to only have one heart. That's just cute. Alright, and then obviously we have to have something here because the branch. There. So, as you can see, it's representational, very much so. And that's what I like. So, I'm going to come back to the green, and I'm going to improvise here. So, we got a little bit here. I'm going to add in a little flower, a leaf. Just touching those up. There we go. And now we're going to come back to this brown. Normally I would turn this so that I could get to this a little easier, but because I cannot see where what my camera sees, I don't know if I'll be out of view. So I'm not going to do that. Just add a little bit more. Okay. I want just a touch of a darker green. I think these stems should be a little darker. They look a little pale. Alright, so I'm just gonna add that in. Okay, so now these are drying. I'm gonna hit it with my tool. So basically I've just wanted the flowers to dry. I'm not too worried about the leaves because I want to kind of come in and see, now I have a little dot there that I'm not real excited about. So I'm just gonna pop, 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 pop. I like to make noise. I don't want to do that. This, you can't see this. Yeah, let's say you can see the center. Let's pretend you can see the center and a leaf has fallen off. What I didn't do was I did not do those ones without any petals on it. I don't know how I can incorporate it and have it translate properly. There, I like that a little bit darker. So this is where you can get yourself in trouble, fussing. I am the queen of fussing. So you know that's getting kind of yucky. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a second. And one of the things that I tend to do with all my paintings is I cannot resist putting ink on them. I love pen. I love pen. So I'm gonna let this dry again. So you'll see there's a on this one I'm noticing all these little watercolor marks. I'm kind of liking them. I know in some instances I wouldn't. I know if it's not matching my head, I would get frustrated. But I'm trying to let the painting do what it wants to do and then say, okay, do I like this or not like this? Because like this is kind of funky. So what I might take is, this is a size 0. This is what I use for my dot art. I'm working on some stones right now. And just soften that up a little bit. You can see that? You can soften those edges up so nicely. I like it on the leaves, but again, I just a little softer though. A little bit of a harsh line for floral for me. So just take a little water and smooth that out. Okay, so now I am going to put some little tiny dots, like tiny, and not a lot. Just give them a little center. This one has some dots. These do not. No, these don't. Okay. So now I'm going to do a very, very, very light line. Very light. So now I'm going to write my happy. Do that. And this is for placement. It's not to copy exactly. And I'm going to mothers. There are so many great lettering videos out there. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to let it dry for a few seconds. Okay. And then I'm going to erase this stuff back out. Okay. Well, it's not perfect, but I'm liking it. And the great thing is, my mom, who is in her 70s, and I'm 51, she's still gonna love it because I'm still her baby girl. Just like my girls are still my baby girls. I don't care that they're getting older. So now I'm gonna take the next size up. I'm gonna take an 02. You can do an 03. And anything on a downstroke, I'm gonna thicken it up just a little bit. Here we go. But the more contrast you have between your thick and thin lines, the more dramatic it looks. See, that really pops out, where these not so much. So let's just make these a little bigger. There we have it. All right. Not my best piece, but I'm happy. I'm happy with it, and I know my mom will be happy with it. You can certainly take more time. I did not take a ton of time with that because I'm trying to just enjoy the process and not agonize over it. So now you can take this paper off. Sometimes if you use a heat tool, you can relax this glue and it'll come up much nicer. I often sign my paintings. I'm not signing this one. And you can reuse this because it's still usable. In fact, it's probably going to be easier to take off. But see how much nicer it comes off when it's had a little bit of its sticky taken off. And this is, I mean, printer's tape or painter's tape. So, you know, that's what it's for. But, you know, watercolor paper can be pretty fragile sometimes, especially if you use a lot of water. It can really... Now see, what I think I like about this the best is the background. I like how that came out. I'm pleased. All right. I have this little cutter, which I love because it fits on my table. So all we have to do is cut this in half at, let's see, it should be 5.5 inches. So we'll set that there. So I'm just going to carefully fold. All right. And then fold back. There it goes. There, nice. Okay. All right. Now we'll take a little, do a check. Oh, see, I got some dotted lines on that side. So we're just going to shave a little bit more off. There we go. So let's see how it lays. I've learned to test. Okay, yeah, I like that. So now we want this to be a little bit more. Now, I almost cut it, and I shouldn't have. Here's the thing, because this is all the way around, if you trim this, you have to trim it evenly on each side, or otherwise you're going to have, the white is not going to be even. So I'm going to go in 1/8 of an inch on each of these two sides. Actually, I'm going to go to 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So basically, line up where your cutter is, and then just bring it at 1/8 of an inch. And then, because I'm a quilter, I like 1/4 inch. Okay, that. Now you have to go another 1/8 of an inch, and I'll give you your full 1/4. I hope that makes sense. But basically, you can see you're just trimming all the way around, just that little bit. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is, there we go. I have a lot of different ways of adhering, but we're going to use this adhesive. Just get it in the craft section at any box store, art store. I use a lot because watercolor paper is thick and can be kind of stubborn. So we'll center that. Oh yes. All right. Oh, we're a little crooked. This adhesive I can lift back up. I think. It's a little crooked. I might have to fix it. But anyway, you'll get the gist. What do you think? I like it. I think she'll like it. It didn't take very long, and it's my own design, and I have a little more erasing to do, but yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you try it. And I really thank you all for being my patrons for these 4 months. I thought I would go a year, but life has been really complicated. The pandemic, of course. My husband and I have been very, very blessed, but everyone around us has not. So it's been kind of hard to watch. So I'm hoping that we can just do more YouTube videos for a while, and then maybe down the road go back to Patreon. So I hope you'll see me over there. But I will be posting the videos on Patreon early. So for anybody who wants to follow, and it will cost you nothing. So, and when this pandemic is better and we all get our vaccines, I got my second shot today. My own daughter gave it to me, which is hilarious. Then we can get together and paint more, even, and you can get together with people where you're at and paint and just do joyous things. All right, that's it. I'll stop yammering, and I'll see you on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Bye.